Am I the asshole? For leaving a dinner I didn't want to go to? My husband picks me up from work at night some days. Yesterday I noticed we weren't going home, and when I ask he says we're going to dinner at his family's. I was so exhausted from work, and I also dislike some of his family members lol. So I got really angry that he didn't ask if I wanted to go before promising his family we were. Or at least giving me a heads up. Instead of apologizing he argued that I was being dramatic, so naturally I got dramatic for real, and as soon as we arrived at their driveway I called an Uber and left. He said I was being disrespectful and embarrassing myself in front of his family. I don't care, but he's still pissed at me. So, am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Your husband is rude for planning or agreeing to you doing something without asking you first. If this is a pattern, I would have left too. But you have bigger problems, it sounds like. You and your husband need to work on communication, and it sounds like he needs to work on respecting you. Not the asshole sounds like he sprung it on you BC he knew you wouldn't go willingly. He basically kidnapped you, and it backfired on him. Not the asshole, he should have asked you, and when he found out that you were exhausted, he should have dropped you at home after picking up food for you along the way, if possible, and gone alone. I love all the comments in both agreement or disagreement alike, very enlightening. Just want to clarify, as there seems to be some confusion on if I was going willingly or not. His family lives nearby and the drive to their house is mostly the same as to mine, but a different freeway exit. I only noticed when this time came, so yes, I was in the car willingly, but I guessed we were going home like every night until I saw the exit we were taking. Maybe I was wrong for not asking ahead of time, who knows. Either way, keep the opinions coming. Not the asshole. WTF is wrong with your husband? You were tired and not in a mood to put up with his family. Remind him that it could have been worse if you had actually gone inside and lost your cool when one of his family members said something dumb. Not the asshole, he has poor communications skills and he was not being respectful, especially after you worked all day. I had a husband like this and we are now divorced. He began always making me feel like I was stupid, and it lowered my self-esteem, and lived like this for 15 years. I have remarried to a kind man, just wish I got out earlier. Disrespectful? Yes, that is the vibe I was going for. Not the asshole. I love how you said you got dramatic for real when he called you dramatic. My kind of petty, smiley face. I just want to give some recognition to the fact that he called you dramatic and your initial reaction was, oh, honey. You want to see drama? That's some. And the heartbreaker's level of petty, and it was exactly what the situation called for. Not the asshole, he did not give you a heads up or ask you, you are 100 allowed to just leave. Not the asshole, that is really upsetting, manipulative behavior. I'm guessing this isn't the only instance of him behaving this way. You don't just have someone get in your car and start driving somewhere they haven't agreed to go, ever. Unless it's a dog. Not the asshole, who wants to socialize, after work especially, with those you don't care for and your spouse making the decision for you. Sometimes getting dramatic is necessary to drive home the lesson. Not the asshole. How is embarrassing yourself in front of his family even an argument in his favor? What he really means is he's embarrassed by your non-compliance, which also isn't an argument. Not the asshole. He embarrassed himself by making a commitment for you without asking you. That's always a nope, and then making you go anyway after you said you didn't want to. Not the asshole, but y'all might wanna talk things out and make sure everyone is being respected. When I leave work I typically take a nap right when I get home, and I am dying to greet the kitties. If anyone tries to interfere with that part of the day, I am gonna need to know several days in advance. Does he do this sort of thing often? View you as a possession, someone he can simply order around? I fail to see how this embarrassed you, so he's lying as well. You're not the asshole. Not the asshole. He tried to put you in a position where he thought you couldn't leave, and you proved otherwise. You are disrespectful? You? Did he take crazy pills? Is he always like that? What a pow. X200B. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If anyone ever disrespects the first 2 hours after I get off work without letting me know, they are the and I would tell them so and it wouldn't happen again, I tell you that. When it comes down to it, you told him no and he wouldn't take your no for an answer, so you removed yourself from the situation. You didn't make a scene or go off on a rant, you just noped out. Hopefully, he will take your feelings into account more and respect your boundaries when you want different things. He should feel comfortable going to see whoever he wants. But he can't command you to attend. He seemed to think there was nothing you could do about it. Learn something new every day, I guess. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. He tried to force you to go to dinner instead of respecting your wishes. He's the fool. Not the asshole. I thank God every day that my partner isn't close to his family. I'm not the asshole. I always tell people that I need 3 to 5 business days to process and prepare for social events. I would be so mad, so grateful. My wife also prefers 3 to 5 business days, lol. Not the asshole. After work the last thing I want to do is go socialize unless it is pre-planned and I can psych myself up for it and have a coffee or something. Not okay for him to make that decision for you without talking to you about it. Not the asshole. It was literally as simple as telling his family he would be there, and depending on how tired from work you were, you may be there too. Then he had to pick you up as normal, ask how your day was and then ask if you would mind having dinner with his family. If you said no, I'm tired from work, then he brings you home and then goes to his family's house for dinner. The only way you'd be TA in this situation is if you told him he couldn't go either, which I don't see here. Woman shrugging. Not the asshole. Making the plan without checking with you first is rude. He promised your time to someone else and did not have the understanding that he needs to check with you first. Tell his family the truth. That you were not told about the dinner, and while you do enjoy spending time with them, you were not in the headspace to do so, and since you had no warning whatsoever because of your husband's rude actions, you went home. Not the asshole. NGL, I'd have just taken the car and left his conniving ass to find its own way home. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Don't ever agree for me to eat at someone else's house without asking me first. Not the asshole. Sounds like he didn't tell you to try to make you go because he knew you wouldn't want to, being tired after work and with people you don't like being there. Not very nice of him. Not the asshole. And your husband was being an ass, but Holy Mother of Christ, some of these comments are dramatic as hell. With only one anecdote and irritating, but by no means traumatic incident, people have diagnosed your husband to be a narcissistic abusive sociopath who hates women and views you as his property. I hate this website. Not the asshole. H. He should know how tired you are after work and he didn't ask you if you wanted to go. Your husband ambushed you and thinks that's fine. Rather than dealing with this incident on its own, I think you might want to arrange couples therapy and insist on both of you attending. Your husband is being disrespectful, lacking in empathy and putting his family members above your well-being, as well as damaging your ability to trust him. I bet this isn't the first such incident, either, is it? But he picks you up from work when he can, so this situation is fixable. He doesn't not care. The real move would have been taking the car and leaving him there. That's a huge change of plans and expectations from thinking you are just gonna go home after work. He owes you a head up when things like that come up. Not the asshole. No husband, friend or family member of mine except my mom, and she's mentally ill, would ever presume to pick me up and drive me to an event or location that had not been previously discussed and agreed upon. Outside of the surprise, which this is not. I would have done the same. No consideration to you after a long workday. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Yeah, fuck that shit.